Ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to quickly touch on a topic that's on everyone's mind. Will the island be accessible in free roam? Let's discuss. What I've done is I've dusted off my PS4 based console and ran a few frame tests on it around the aircraft carrier that, to my surprise, is actually always on the map. It's just simply not accessible outside of the business battle. The aircraft carrier is pretty far out in sea, and to my surprise you can see a noticeable increase in FPS in a 25 plus player lobby on base PS4. Now if you compare this to the 15 to 20 FPS you get in the city, you know where I'm going with this. Now upon seeing that, I actually was pleasantly surprised and I started to get some hope, because if you look at what's happening on your screen, you can see that both in a scenario while driving a boat or flying a helicopter, there's a very stable 30 FPS going on. Now obviously this is out in sea and there is not really much going on, and an island would obviously impact performance once again. But even when you go on the aircraft carrier itself, the performance doesn't really suffer that much. This mainly is because of the fact that the biggest FPS drainer, that obviously being the city, is only a backdrop at the location of the aircraft carrier. So assets from the map are not fully loaded in, thus giving the game more resources to load other stuff, like the aircraft carrier or the island. Now I don't want you to immediately jump up in the air and start doing 360s and smacking a cake into your annoying neighbor's face to celebrate this great big new revelation, because the fact still stands, we don't actually have an island that's this far out in sea. And well, because of that reason, it's gonna be rather hard to really figure out exactly how much the performance is going to be impacted. But it does give us a pretty good indication. So for this reason, and mainly the fact that base consoles are not really running the game particularly well in the city specifically, I would still keep the door open for a possibility that the island will not be in free roam. But if you were to ask me personally, based on the frame test as well as the fact that the island seems to be pretty decently sized and seemingly also has plenty of variety in terms of the world and locations, I'm about 99% sure that the island will indeed be accessible inside of free roam. Main reason for this too is that if you were to compare the frames inside of the city to Blaine County, there's already a noticeable improvement there too. So the biggest FPS drainer, once again, is the city. And something like Blaine County sees a, while not huge, improvement, there is an improvement inside of Blaine County in terms of frames. Thus meaning that with that, and obviously there are less going on an island too than actually on Blaine County, it would definitely open up a lot of resources, and I personally think that because of that, it could very much be possible. Especially because the only places in GTA Online currently that are not accessible in free roam, outside of missions or heist or any sort of that stuff, are interiors and not exterior. I also have this sneaking suspicion that they've used the aircraft carrier as a bit of a technical test to see how well the game would handle it in a real world situation. The island also seems to be large enough to unload assets if you're on the west side of the island, for example. And one of the scenes inside of the trailer they have released is specifically this one. You can already see that happen. So with all that in mind, it would be a great shame if Rockstar decides that base console limitations will prevent us from having a new place to explore. But like I said, I will be really surprised if it wouldn't be accessible in free roam. But you know what also is accessible in free roam? My lovely members, of course. Join them by clicking the join button down below. That made no sense, I know. But with all that said and with all that done, thank you also very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.